I am so glad to announce to everybody that KWJUDAS is back. We are on Free Radio Provo. We've undergone a lot of changes here, folks. And we have our first our first touring band that actually made it to Utah without having some sort of... Wait, actually, you did have problems on the road, didn't you? Did you guys just, on your way here, something with your windshield? Everybody's been having these fucking terrible, terrible car problems. And not... Oh, I'll watch the F word. Anyways.
Yeah, it was a growing L shape.
We've...
It was a growing L shape in the windshield, and Safe Light took care of it. They were completely professional. They were very nice to work with. They gave us some free snacks.
Free snacks.
They offered to text me as I was perusing Provo this afternoon.
Wow.
The lovely city of Provo. And these folks, I can't say anything better about them. I had a completely positive experience
Good
with
God.
Safe Light today in Provo, Utah.
Holy shit. It's like within the first 10 minutes, we've already got our commercial.
Nabisco snacks served in the Safe Light basket on their customer service desk. All Nabisco snacks. Scooby snacks, Keebler Elves EL Fudge, Keebler Elves Rainbow Drop M&M cookies. Indeed. Yeah, Safe Light Auto Glass.
Oh, you're still talking about Safe Light Auto Glass. I thought you were rolling into a whole nother commercial. But then...
Slam poetry or something.
Yeah, that...
It's the same place. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe that those two things could share together, but they do.
I've got no comment on this.
Ben has no comment, but the fact of the matter is that Safe Light Glass saved our lives.
I'm very glad. And the point I was trying to make is that you're the first goddamn band in over a year to actually make it to KWJUDAS.
I thought
on
we weren't allowed
Free
to
Radio
swear.
Provo. So give yourselves a hand, folks. You guys really are special for that reason, and that reason alone. Other than that, you're not special.
I might have to leave to get more wine.
Oh, you have more wine?
Man, you've never met us.
You're very correct. So
Nice to meet
we're
you.
going to move on to the next song, and he's going to get some more wine. That'll give you time to get some wine.
Cheers.
You really don't need to hand me the mic.
No,
when
I'm trying to
I've
bump.
got a mic.
Trying to bump mics.
Oh, okay.
Mic bump.
Mic cheers. Wizard's got a mic too. So let's have another song, shall we? This is the Van Allen Belt here on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. And before we start, why don't you give us the name of that last song?
The last one was called Nothing, and the one that's playing right now is called 143. But I ain't starting it over.
You're playing it now.
Well, shit happens.
All right, let's hear it. KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. I just dropped my microphone. I was just so ecstatic from the elation of that music. Actually really enjoyed that. Oh, Jesus, you just spilled the Christ. Okay, there was no Christ spilled on this episode. All right, we're good. That was the Van Ellen Belt here on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. And as I said before, we are so goddamn glad to be back on the air, aren't we, Judas? I mean, Wizard.
I don't even know if this microphone's working, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Who are you both?
I thought I was Judas, but I just called him Judas because I'm kind of delirious right now. We also have our in-studio audience. Why don't you introduce yourself, in-studio audience?
My name's Riot.
One Man Riot! Yeah! I sure do love that guy.
That's our studio audience, folks.
All right. And actually, all that music that noise was provided by just one guy, Riot. We were definitely not clapping with him. So, where are you guys from?
Well, we're not here in the studio right now, I guess, is this kind of where that leads me.
I mean, like,
Based on what you just said, if all of that clapping was just Riot, I mean, that means
God,
none of us are
talented
here.
individual.
you're getting a little hung up
So-
on that.
Anything to say?
Wow. Are you?
Where are we from, Tamara?
Well, we're from,
This dude's really getting into it.
gosh, where are we from? How about we just came from Elko? Yeah.
You're from Elko.
Yeah.
We're from Elko.
Where the hell is that?
Folks?
It's not too
You
far
know-
away.
Yeah, hey, actually, this is an interesting thing.
What's funny is
Elko is hosting the National Cowboy Poetry Festival right now. And there's all these poetic cowboys
So-
all over. Cowboy poetry.
I love cowboy
You gotta
poetry.
love
Have
it.
you guys heard
You
of
gotta
Baxter
love
Black?
Cowboy poetry.
Baxter Black. He's my favorite cowboy poet.
Really? Oh my god.
I mean, he tells you how you can wipe your ass with a seagull twice.
There you go.
on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes. Baxter
We
Black.
Need, we need to bring that up.
Yeah,
like, right
Baxter
away.
Black.
Yeah.
Like a vegetarian.
you also need to talk into the
Look
mic.
it up. It's my favorite poem by him.
I kind of
A
am.
I
vegetarian's
don't know,
nightmare.
but still.
Baxter Black.
Baxter Black.
I
A
shit you
vegetarian's
not.
nightmare. That sounds like it's
My favorite cowboy poet. I love cowboy poetry.
really gonna land with me.
Seriously. Like that's why I was like, oh my god, like you guys are doing cowboy poetry. Let's do
So,
this.
I can't help but wonder, did you guys ever answer the question, where are you based out of?
The United States.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're based out of Gumption, Utah. And I'm glad that you guys could actually make it here because most people don't make it past the troglodytes.
That gets almost everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and diners, I make you a shameful, degrading confession, a deed of disgrace in the name of good taste. Though I did it,
There he
I
goes
meant
again.
no aggression. I had planted a garden last April and lovingly sang it a ballad. But later in June, beneath a full moon, forgive me, I wanted a salad. So I slipped out and fondled a carrot, caressing its feathery top with the force of a brute. I tore out the
How
root.
often does he
I
do this?
whimpered, and it came with a pop. Then laying my hand on a radish, I jerked it and left a small crater. Then with the blade of my true value spade, I exhumed a slumbering tater. Celery I plucked, I twisted a squash. Tomatoes were wincing in fear. I choked the romaine, it screamed out in pain. Their anguish was filling my ears. I finally came to the lettuce as it cringed at the top of the row. With one wicked slice, I beheaded it twice. As it writhed, I dealt it a blow. I butchered the onions and parsley. My hoe was all covered with gore. I chopped and I whacked without looking back. Then I stealthily slipped in the door. My bounty lay naked and dying, so I drowned them to snuff out their life. I sliced and I peeled as they thrashed and they reeled on the cutting board under my knife. I violated tomatoes so their innards could never survive. I grated ground till they made not a sound. Then I boiled the tater alive. Then I took the small broken pieces. I tore tortured and killed with my hands, and tossed them together, heedless of whether they suffered or made the demands. I ate them, forgive me, I'm sorry, but hear me though I'm a beginner. Those plants feel pain, though it's hard to explain to someone who eats them for dinner. I intend to begin a crusade for plants' rights, including chickpeas. The ACLU will be helping me too. In the meantime, please pass the blue cheese.
Yeah. So that guy is from our hometown. He's actually one of my old neighbors. He taught my kindergarten class.
What the fuck was that?
This song is
What
called
do you mean that guy?
Peace Don't Stand
Who's
a
that
Chance.
guy? The
Next song.
All right, let's start.
next song.
Somebody start
Next
the
song.
fire. Burn it down.
Burn that shit down.
Please don't stand a chance. Please don't stand a chance. Take this warning in advance. Please don't stand a chance. This time you must use a sign. Do you want to improve on the past? Are you in this century or the last?
Oh my God. Fop, 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 fop. Well, I do believe, good sirs, this is Free Radio Provo, and you're listening to KWJUDAS, the Van Allen Belt being one of our very first premier bands of this good year 2020. That song was delectable. What's the name of this little ditty?
Peace don't stand a chance.
Peace don't stand a motherfucking chance, people. I believe it does,
Language, Judas.
actually. I said motherfucker. That's different than motherfucking.
Mother Picard.
Mother pecan. So, we were kind of talking about this song and its meaning and what was going on. You sent me the video.
Yeah.
A long time ago when we were trying to put together a show, and I liked it.
Yeah.
And it took me a second before I remembered what was going on in that video.
It was a while ago that I originally.
It was, but the
Contacted
song was
you.
familiar, you know. Hey, at least I watched it. I mean, shit, you know. Like,
Yeah.
and at least I remembered it.
Well, I actually didn't really have anything to do with making this one. It was all Ben and Scott here who did it. I actually didn't take part in this. I usually do that, but this is all these guys.
Yeah, I really liked
It's
it.
funny. I usually don't. So this was kind of like it's very different than our other videos, and it's it's because this is more my concept, I guess.
So what was it based around?
Footage again. So I got footage of the G20 summit in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What was the? What is that?
I was just visiting that city on a whim because I'd never been there before at all. And I'll let you in on a secret. We're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You said you were from Texas.
Well, yeah, my heart has always been in Texas. Pandering.
Is that a song?
I was pandering to all the.
It's where he's gonna get a replacement.
Yep.
So anyway,
So I shot footage of the protests that occurred basically in like I would say 12-hour span of the day.
what were the protests about?
Well, it was. I would say generally New World Order in some sort of way, or like against like the World Trade.
Nothing
organization.
specific.
The-
I mean, New World Order is kind of
No,
vague.
no,
I mean,
Pinkberry. It was all about Pinkberry.
what's that?
Pinkberry is like kind of a hybrid ice cream chain that has been spreading across the nation, but it specifically started that year, propped up by the GOP.
So what's the BFD?
The BFD is that the GOP and the PB put together a plan to replace ice cream with bullshit.
What is the bullshit?
Well, basically the bullshit had a lot to do with NAFTA.
So they replaced ice cream with NAFTA?
Yes.
And NAFTA
How?
versus bowls.
Somebody's got to come up. What's the Ben and Jerry's NAFTA flavor? Somebody,
So
come
it's
on, come
just
on,
a
come
bowl
on, give it to me.
of shit.
I feel like any way that we roll with that flavor, it's going to be offensive.
They call
I
it
don't know.
Preparation H. It's ass cream.
Yeah.
All right, I like
Ooh.
that. NAFTA would come up with something like that. That's what the.
Well,
All right,
They
well,
do
there's our
sell it.
Derpenstein
okay,
commercial.
all right. To actually go full circle and answer your question.
Yeah, let's get back to the
G20,
topic.
G20 is an interesting protest because it's sort of the melting pot of all protests. So you had representatives of all these different factions of people just like, I mean, it could be like, there'd be a free Tibet person standing next to, a climate change activist or whatever,
And who were they
every
trying to appeal to?
possible-
I mean, was there a specific person or place or organization that
You
they're
know-
like demanding or making their demands to?
I guess it's yeah. I mean, honestly, like So, like, I will actually say this. I have actively protested in my life. In this particular case, I was documenting more than I was participating. I was just sort of like, oh, I have a camera and I want to, like, see what happens here. The behavior of the police definitely was, sort of disappointing to me.
Right.
Is the nice way to say it.
Could have been worse.
But
But it would have made your music video a lot more brutal.
yeah, if they actually, the thing is, since it is just my footage as far as that aspect of the video goes, since I ended up escaping it very narrowly, but like I was with someone else who was working with the press for Reuters, who got pepper sprayed in the face,
Damn.
and he needed to be escorted out of the loop. And I was his escort because he was blinded, and then I dodged getting arrested. I would have actually definitely been cuffed with the rest of them, but they ended up getting shot with rubber bullets and tear gas, and a lot of that you don't get to see in it because, again, I escaped. Like, if you had seen it, they probably would have smashed my camera, and then you would have never seen it. So that's kind of a paradox.
You're pretty lucky. And you did get some decent footage there even still. Even when I was watching it, I was kind of wondering, did your band just take this footage from somewhere they found, or is it real? Like, did you actually get it? And the fact that you did, to me, is fucking awesome. Like, it's way more raw and authentic.
Thank you. There is admittedly some stock footage filler in the verses, I guess. Which is really, but it's like it's pertinent to what the lyrics were saying, where it's like you kind of have to like fit it together, where it relates to the modern times. Where, again, this footage was 10 years old, so it, like, as much as like it predicted what was to come and is continuing to happen, it didn't it didn't connect all the dots exactly. So
It's based off a fun process that Ben had come up with several years earlier of filming off of like a separate screen with a camera and getting weird angles. So we create like hydrocephalism in all of the swollen heads of the talking heads of the day. It's everybody. It's everybody who's currently relevant. But yeah, it's there's footage that isn't 100% of that moment, but it's pretty obvious when it's not.
Right.
It's an underrated technique, photography technique, to go up. Like, if you have like a big flat screen TV and you shoot it at bizarre angles. Well, I'm just saying it warps it in ways that like Photoshop might not think to do it. It's like this analog warping in a way. Even though it's digital, it's sort of, like, since you're shooting off of a screen and it's the way that the screen contorts based on how the lens is, angled at it.
I just saw this today. The Pixies video for Here Comes Your Man actually does it. Oh, really? Yes, but also no one ever saw that video.
I definitely haven't.
I mean, like, if anybody in the room wants to tell me what that video is like, you just go ahead.
It was like something I've never seen before.
How about you, Riot?
Because you've never seen it.
It was unlike anything I've ever seen.
One Man Riot.
Well, I feel like we've kind of indulged in this subject for a while.
One Man Riot has spoken.
Yes!
Thank you, Ryan.
Yes! Yes!
So, since we spent so much time talking about this video, before we get to the next song, why don't you tell our listeners the name of the video, the name of the song, and where they can find it?
Well, what am I aiming for here? I thought we were going into the next song.
Oh,
Okay, so here's what we've got going on here.
The last video, we're talking about this
The last video should get, I would really recommend
Peace Don't Stand a
anybody
Chance.
in the United
That's-
States of America to check out this video right now because, like, honestly, I think if people were sharing this on places and they were into it, that, it would be totally appropriate and everybody would be wanting to watch this.
Right.
But you know what? The internet is changing. So, I don't know. Like, if you want to check this out, it's Peace Don't Stand a Chance. If this is the...
Don't
yeah.
stand a chance.
And you can only get this out in so many ways. You know what I mean? Like...
So kids, don't even try.
Yeah. Don't.
Be violent. There is no chance for peace. Your future is dismal. All right, the name of this next song.
Oh, this is called Bandy Sham.
Bandisham. What language is that?
I think it's actually like Scottish, sort of.
What it's about?
Colloquial Scottish.
What it is?
It's about kickball.
Oh. Well, how pleasant. We're listening to Kickball on KWJUDAS Radio Provo. You all for listening. Sorry I just hit you, Ryan. I just knocked over your drink. We are back with you folks here on Free Radio Provo. It's KWJUDAS, the Van Allen Belt. The name of that song was
Bandy Sham.
Bandy Sham, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot tell you how ecstatic I am once again. We are at the top of the half hour, 8:26. I forget what time we started, but we'll just call it the top of the half hour.
The half of the top hour.
So you guys have been playing for how long now?
13 years.
Say it into the mic. I mean,
I don't know. I
okay,
mean,
she's thinking about it.
we've been doing lots of random recording things together for quite some time. You know, probably since like 2000.
We've been in
It's
each
been like
other's
20
business for a
years.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, like since like 2001, I would say like legitimately.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
This project started in really 2006, but our first release was in 2007, and that's when we became a live
And it's
act.
always just been the three of you?
No, actually. We have had a few different incarnations. Actually, really early on. Early on, Scott wasn't usually in the lineup because he was touring with another band, and we were doing. I mean, we had kind of like a more like, I don't know what you would call it. It wasn't like folk or lounge or whatever, but it was like a non-beat sort of little like ensemble with like bass, guitar, keys, vocals for a short time, and then sometimes you would be in and you'd play drums with us.
We were really
And
hashing
then it was just
out.
us and Tom for a second.
we ha-
yeah,
we
yeah,
were-
yeah,
We
yeah.
had a lot specifically
Early on, there were like a few shuffles. It's been us
specifically,
constantly from
the first album has another vocalist, Martine Mancini.
Yes, Martine Mancini. She did the very first show with us,
Yes.
and that was the only show.
That was
she
the
ever-
only show she
And that
ever
was
did.
when?
2007.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
And,
so
quite
that
some
was the,
time ago.
the
Thereafter-
beginning. Yeah, it feels
thereafter
like a lifetime ago.
Tamara took the reins. We had a live bassist for quite some time, Tom Alta Snodgrass. Fantastic, amazing human
That almost
being.
sounds like you just made that.
No, okay, so he married somebody named Altus, and he's credited with his wife's last name,
That's
but
gangsta.
his
He is
legal name
gangsta.
is actually
He
Snodgrass.
is, Tom is a
Gangsta.
gangster. His bass lines are heard all over our recordings,
Even up
into
until-
our current recordings.
Yeah, he makes an appearance on the track. I mean, it's
He's
like, yeah.
phenomenal, and I mean, so both of them. Well,
So why'd you kick him out?
It's
I was
funny
gonna
you should
say
say
kick
that
him the
because I
fuck
did
out,
kick
but
him
then I
out.
realized I shouldn't say
I
that.
in particular did kick him
Oh,
out.
wow, now
I
we're
kicked
getting-
him out because
This is like
uh,
Howard Stern
because
juicy.
I knew, and we all knew that he couldn't tour. It made him upset, and he needed to be home. He had a real job.
I didn't like the way he looked at me.
That also can get in the way of
He
things.
gave me a look,
That's mean.
and
He had an eye
and
patch.
Yeah,
and
but,
I was like,
the way
he got
you
so
look
he
at
got
people-
so many girls with that eye patch.
Yeah.
I'm just
When he
telling
got the
you,
eye
if you want to
patch-
get some
Serious?
girls
When
at
he-
bars,
I am
wear an eye
serious.
patch.
I
Yeah.
am,
This
I
guy
am
really only have
Captain,
one
Girls
I am
love
Captain Ron Serious right
an
now.
eye patch.
When
Did he
Tom
need
put
the
the
eye
eye
patch?
patch on and
Lured
the
him
Kangle,
in.
I might add the Kangle as well.
Pirates.
And he was the Slick Rick of the band, and we were in New York City. It was nothing but women for Tom. And what the most incredible part is how he was just like Andrew Dice Clay with it, where he was just like, yeah, well, yeah, nice, whatever, and just like beautiful women.
Is that what Andrew Dice Clay is like?
That's what he does.
Who's Andrew Dice Clay?
He's this brilliant comedian who does this great thing where he's
Brilliant.
always on point with the goof. Where like if
Oh.
you're a fan of him,
Who's
and
Ever
you
heard
come
of
up and you're like, I'm
Brain-
such a big fan. He goes,
Brain Smasher,
"Yeah,
a
that's-
love story.
That's really nice. And like Tom was just like, yeah, that's great, that's neat. And then ladies would run away, but he was still Slick Rick in an eye patch with a Kangle, and it was absolutely amazing. But the point is, fantastic musician, and then we had to pare it down to 3 because he could not continue on. He had to go back home and do an adult thing. And the 3-person thing actually led us into Europe, and that got a lot better.
Wow.
And that brought us back to
Europe
the
just
States.
didn't like the guy with the eye patch?
No, he
Or-
never got there.
They
But we're gonna go with him to Japan.
Damn. Well, that's cool.
That's where he's from.
Ah, now it all makes sense.
You think so until you realize he's a 6'2" Swedish guy.
Okay. Now it all makes even more sense.
He
Does he
is
really
from Japan.
have
The good
one
old
eye,
U-
or did
the good old
I
U.S.
know.
military.
He needed an eye patch for a second,
and that's it?
as long as he needed the Kangol.
What the hell's a Kangol?
It's a sweet floppy hat that sits on top of your head, better than a fedora.
A sweet floppy hat.
If you've ever seen Slick
Sounds
Rick, it looks like that.
delicious.
I thought you told me not to talk about anybody else. My
Here's the
God,
thing,
you're
it got
telling
brought up,
everyone
and now we're going.
on the World Wide Web
Yeah.
what Tom's
You are
hat
on the
looks
air.
like.
Did I mention he has a 10-inch dick?
You definitely mentioned that like 3 times.
What are you doing?
What?
I thought
Before
it
we got
wasn't
on the
cool
air.
to talk about other people. He's not here.
Tom's 10-inch dick
Gosh.
should be mentioned.
Hey, we were asking about your previous band members. The dick size definitely was not.
I guess he was the one
in
who had the
question,
biggest
'cause
dick.
We just
yeah.
assume he's a bass player. He must be well endowed. I only say that because I
Of all
also
the
play
of all the
bass.
dicks I've seen in our band, definitely, probably that was the biggest.
How many other dicks have you seen in this band?
How many have been? Oh Jesus!
Define.
I'll give an estimate.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
All right, let's. Have
You're the
next
wizard,
song,
and
huh?
you've divined. Yes.
We've
yes.
been bullshitting about
Very true.
Band member
Yeah.
dicks for
Wizard!
too long.
So when you edit it, just
When
just
we
cut it
edit
off
this-
at who was Tom?
Yeah, we're just gonna take out all the talking.
What are you talking about? Let's skip the baby. We don't. Now that we added nothing, we don't need that. You guys don't need that in your life.
Yeah, who loves
So-
babies anyway?
So okay, no. This is actually we're gonna go for the baby boomers, because this I probably wrote like 15 years ago, and at the time this is like during like the peak like W years. I was like, how could the boomers vote for W or whatever, And this is like 15 years ago, and now it's like now it's like hashtag OK Boomer all over the place. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I've heard about the
Millennials,
boomer.
yeah, they're
Boomer.
all like okay boomer, and it really is like infuriating. Boomers, like there's like this fake war that the media is trying to push.
Yeah, it's
because
stupid.
it it sells adult diapers and cat food or whatever.
Indeed.
But yeah, this is an oldie. Though. It's one of our OGs, one of the originals. 13 years old. Time capsule.
The name of the song is
Baby Boomer Backstroke.
Baby Boomer Backstroke
In the key of B.
in the key of B on KWJUDAS via the
Mommy and Dad, what has happened to you? Show me the pictures, getting fire hosed again. really think the TV news is true. 'Cause you don't come down, the charade is up. They've had you crap and you waited up. To me it seems really mean that you sold your dreams on Wall Street.
Free Radio Provo, KWJUDAS. All right already.
Where do we go now?
Wherever you want.
We are proud to announce the Van Allen Belt on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. This guy's pouring some wine. This guy's got us some vodka. And I've got some moose drool.
And I'm about to leave
Who's in charge of the lighthouse?
If,
the lighthouse.
Yeah. I thought somebody was supposed to be in charge of the lighthouse. I'm really concerned now.
I think the lighthouse burned down
What's
going
going
to
to happen? Okay.
So, second to last song.
It is a house full of light.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We are getting
Yeah.
pretty close to the end.
It needed
So we're going to have to come
maintenance.
up with some kind of a Derpinsley commercial real quick.
Well, they
Um,
already did the ad.
Oh, yeah. What was it for?
Ask them.
What was it for?
Windshield.
Some kind of a stupid windshield thing.
Safe light.
It could have
Oh,
been
yes.
anything.
Safe Light.
Oh,
Brought to you by
Oh God! Oh
Derpinsley.
God! Tell me. I'll tell you about safe. Okay, I'll tell you about Safe Light.
You tell me
Safe-
about safe.
I'll tell you about
We don't
Safe
need a
Light.
Tell me about
commercial.
Safe Light's the best
Safe
place.
Light's the best place.
Safe Light.
Safe Light.
They replaced my windshield.
Replace my windshield.
They talked to my insurance company. Everything was totally settled. They were cheerful and lovely, and I loved the looks in their eyes and their faces.
she's not
And
telling you,
and
folks.
they're happy. There
She
was
had to
this one guy that
sacrifice
had a really
her left
nice
arm.
comb over thing going on, and it was really nice. Yeah, and yeah,
And
I'm
her
all
firstborn
about
child.
everybody over there.
Yogurt.
They're going to make it into a stew. Safe light.
Brought to you by Derpinsley. And remember, if it doesn't say Derpin, it's not Derpinsley.
What?
All right. So we're coming to you live on Free Radio Provo, if I need to remind you again. And it seems like we've only got
8
one
minutes.
song left.
8 minutes. That sounds fantastic.
7 minutes and 19. That's how long your song is?
It is the single.
All right. Let's hear this song that lasts 17
7 minutes.
minutes and 9
Name
seconds.
This is Iron Butterfly with Let It Goddamn Be.
I mean, here we go.
In a
Free
Let It
Radio Provo.
Goddamn DeVito.
Let it goddamn be.
Let It Goddamn Danny DeVito.
Judas.
The lies and dreams that make you. How do we swallow this pill?
We'd like to thank you for joining us one last time on Free Radio Provo KWJUDAS. We now return you to our regular free radio snapping. What's the snap? There's no damn coffee shop. All right. Cut to the regular free radio programming already. God damn it.